sign of rain. Creek's gone dry, no sign of rain. Creek's gone dry, no sign of rain.
Let's see. I've got best calf delivery, but we're kind of getting those. Maybe what's most fulfilling, if you haven't, fulfilling experience, or maybe makes you feel, hey, that was really a good deal. You know what I mean? That was a good outcome. Of course, maybe you're telling us those too. I don't know, but So, yeah.
Well, I guess to me, I think my most fulfilling is being able to be a veterinarian in the Flint Hills. The clientele that we have are just wonderful people. They take care of the land, they take care of their animals, and it's just been a privilege to be able to serve that crew. And I see some of the people that I did work with, but unfortunately a lot of them have gone on to the up above. And I'm sure they're up there talking about this program right now and saying, that Henrikson sure tells a lot of lies.
Well, I certainly second that. It's been a very, yeah. Well, I second the fact that it's been a very rewarding career. And as I think back, being a veterinarian is not holding down a job. Being a veterinarian is a commitment to take care of anything that's brought before you. And I always felt that anyone who would bring an animal that was maybe hit by a car or something that was no concern of theirs, but anyone that would bring one animal to the clinic had to be a good person. So we were very fortunate in our career to be able to work with the best people around there. Everybody you dealt with, whether it was your regular client or whether it's someone that just come in off the road, you knew that their intentions were good. But as far as rewarding, I always felt the most rewarding part of my career was delivering animals. I liked obstetrical work, whether it be a calf, a pig, a lamb, dog, puppy, whatever. But that was where my greatest pleasure came from.
Miracle of birth, you bet.
I would agree with that. Calving season was always challenging, but that was probably my favorite, especially when it was not like it is now, big calving ease bulls and big heifers, which it's almost anticlimactic anymore. But it's funny because I was thinking the same thing about what was most rewarding. And I think every story that any of us have is more or less a rewarding story because we're helping people. But when I was mowing the yard the other day, I got thinking about it, it made me enjoyed most about veterinary medicine and what I missed. And it kind of comes down to a government acronym that's required of us to write a prescription or write a health paper. Some people thought it was just a way for us to make more money, but it was VCPR, and that stands for Veterinary Client-Patient Relationships. And I think that describes veterinary medicine, really. It's what I loved about veterinary medicine and really what I miss about it. It's those relationships.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's one thing about working out here, working with nature in the Flint Hills where it's beautiful, getting to see good outcomes. I mean, good Lord, sometimes I wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning and I start praying just to make sure this one goes okay or that one. So I'm going to tell a calf story that's kind of a different kind of fulfilling calf story, but you get something that's so unique. And I had, it was during COVID. I had this really older gentleman. It's actually the first time he ever brought me something in. And, his family members weren't around and he was trying to take care of cows by himself. And so there's probably a few of you out here that are understanding how it gets a little bit tougher as it gets older. Thank God you got things like mule, side-by-sides and the facilities are better. But he had a cow that tried a calf on a Tuesday. And the cow was about an 11-year-old cow. And he just couldn't get help. He could not get help. So the cow got brought into me on a Saturday. And of course, Saturday afternoon, right at it, trying to get this unfortunate dead calf out of this cow. And she's still standing. She's actually looking really pretty good, which is kind of amazing. Big old red cow. And so I try working on it Saturday afternoon. C-sections always work better on live calves. Whenever you try to take a dead calf out through the side or the belly of a cow, there's a lot of infection that happens. And so that's a high risk for a cow. When I was working out in the feed yards in Southwest Kansas, I did a lot of heifers. I had like an 80-some% success ratio on C-sections on heifers. And of course, if they're 1,100 pounds, rolling them down and getting them out the belly is a whole lot easier. And the older you get, the harder that gets. So anything that I can do to take it out the back end and have that cow survive and walk out is always so much better. And the drugs are so much better nowadays. The ability to sedate them, to make them feel better afterwards is so much better. So I held this cow over Saturday night. I couldn't quite get everything to work Saturday. So, we have these weird concoctions we put in there to pool with that dead calf to hopefully make it a little bit easier. Sunday morning comes, and I could only get the first half of the calf out. The other thing that happens it's gross, with dead calves is that big belly area gets bigger and bigger, and it turns into this big water balloon. Then you're trying to pull out the back end, and it just stops. And you have to kind of destroy some of that, and that's why that stink for 4 days afterwards. He was adamant to come pick up that cow Sunday morning, and I only had the front half of the calf out. I didn't have the back calf out. Treated her, some antibiotics nowadays that last so much better and so much longer than they used to. She was looking good, went home, brought her back on a Tuesday. The other thing that was happening at that time is it was COVID. And Sunday, I thought I had allergies bad. Well, Monday, I had a cold. And I hadn't had a cold for a long time. And I mean, like, runny nose. That's all I had. It's like this runny nose, right? All this 12 Kleenexes in an hour kind of thing. So he brings her back in Tuesday. At least I got my small animal stuff done in the morning. I had him, and then I had some bulls in the afternoon. He brings this cow back. She's an 11-year-old cow. I got the back end of the calf pulled out of this 11-year-old cow. And she walked out. And I go back to the regular part of the clinic, and the windows are all open. Why are the windows open? You know what? It dawned on me that I couldn't smell her. The rest of the clinic stunk. And I probably stunk for 4 days. I don't know if my husband remembers that, but didn't bother me because I couldn't smell her. And then the next thing that was so cool about this 11-year-old cow, those cows usually need to just get retired out. She's kind of asking to be let out of the herd. Guess what happened? She got pregnant the next year.
Well, being the youngest of the group here, I haven't been in the Flint Hills for too terribly long. I've been here for about 5 years, but working up here, probably the most fulfilling part is the relationships I've been able to build. I'm here long enough now that I'm starting to see some of those puppies that started off as puppies, and now we're into adults, and then even helping some of those older dogs, find that last little bit of quality of life there at the end. And that's probably the most fulfilling part, is giving those old dogs, those old cats that have worked their whole life for owners and making them comfortable towards the end, so that the owners and everybody have that good last final couple of months. Probably the most fulfilling one, it's probably I think it was a horse in distress. It's one of those like, yes, we finally got it. I was a dystocia on a horse, upside down, horse baby in there, feet all the way back, presenting I just had a nose. This mare was tired, very tired when she came in, and I worked on her. The other vet worked on her. We even had the tech work on her a little bit because her arms were so tired. And then we finally got both feet up. And once we got that, she gave one good push, and we got that sucker out of there. And it was finally just one of those we were so exhausted by the end of the day that we were just so excited we got it out. And that mare walked out and bred that year.
Yeah. Very good. Very good.
The cows are fat out on the tall grass prairie. Ground is wet, the wildflowers bloom. Ground is wet, the wildflowers bloom. Ground is wet and the wildflowers bloom.